talked about it a couple of weeks before. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance. My partners, Brandon, Mississippi. They are, the presenting sponsor of this program. Now, the title sponsor of Crate Racing USA. What a big deal that is right there for them and for Rogers Dabbs and Crate Racing USA. I mean, that is top notch. On the hotline right now, it is the series director, and this is a very busy man. It is my man, Adam Stewart. Adam, how we doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, my friend. Thank you for taking the time. Number one, I was just sitting here talking about, I think I got snowball fever after coming back from Florida. I mean, you've been dealing with that too, man. Everybody's sick right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we on top of having Crate Racing USA, we own a racetrack as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a private test session the last couple of nights and got out there in the cold, and we do dirt, so that's a little different. We have to get in the water and that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if that just complicated things, along with about 27 degrees the past couple of nights and just a little under the weather, but we're going to take a few days off and get ready to get over that here.
No doubt. Adam, we can talk about the partnership there with the great folks at Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance, but talk a little bit about Crate Racing USA. I mean, that is, man, you guys, very familiar name. Kind of talk about what you guys do, kind of the territory and everything that is covered with Crate Racing USA.
Yes, sir. We so Crate Racing USA began. This will be the 20th year coming up. Was the first series that ran Chevrolet Performance crate engines as the only source of power under the hood of race cars, and brought affordability back into racing. Engine prices for super late model stuff had gotten really out of control. And it's a cost-effective. It's built and sealed at the factory from Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
We don't allow any, expensive parts or anything. It's all Chevrolet parts. And over time, that brought some cars out of the weeds back to the racetracks, and got some guys that were on their way out of the sport that are still in it 20 years later as a result of the Chevrolet Performance Circle Track engine program. And, in order to keep those engines in cars and our racetracks viable and cars at the racetrack, it takes great partners like Chevrolet Performance and the folks at Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet who, they work on their pricing to stay on top of that and keep the racers coming to the racetracks, because it's we're all in this together. Yep. They work to keep the racers going to the racetracks stay open. We're able to offer rules and point fund monies to those racetracks. And, we cover mainly the Southeast for the most part right now. We dabble into the Carolinas, North and South Carolina some, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, into Louisiana. And that's our main footprint, but our goal is, with signing with Rogers Dabbs, is to expand that footprint even further.
Yeah. Adam, in that, you kind of touched on something right there that, I'm a past racer myself. We had a family-run team. The affordability part, and that's what I like so much about with GM Performance. I mean, that really does with the crate program. It kind of scales that back. I mean, I know that guys want to go, do the house built stuff and have all the horsepower and all that. But man, I think that number one, the affordability part. But at the same time, when you have a crate program like this, man, it enhances the racing because you've got guys that are, more or less on the same playing level when it comes to getting on the racetrack.
It does. The old saying is you can't outrun cubic dollar. And that sort of takes that out of the equation. So you take a guy that's working 9 to 5 that can't afford a $60,000 wide bore engine
Mm-hmm.
to go super late model racing. Well, now he can work 9 to 5. Him and his buddies and his neighbor go work in the shop. They have the same capabilities of winning a race on Saturday night at their local racetrack as a guy that's got a full-time team, because it's under the hood. We're all dealing with the same horsepower there.
Yeah. No, I think that's something super important to kind of bring that back and just kind of level the playing field right there. You talked about some of the along the Southeast right there. Talk about some of the spots that Crate Racing USA has kind of tapped into at this point. You mentioned it. It's the longevity of the series is definitely right there. Kind of talk about some of the staples and the places that Crate Racing USA has kind of made their impact up to this point.
Yeah, we're very blessed to have some racetracks that have been on board since the inception of the series. Talladega Short Track in East Tioga, Alabama, is one. It was the first sanctioned racetrack. Had some of the first races there, and just to be transparent, that's the racetrack we were fortunate enough to purchase back in the middle of 2021, as it's so integral to not only our program but racing in this part of the country. Then we go over the state line into Mississippi to Magnolia Motor Speedway, Johnny Stokes, Why Not Motorsports Park at Meridian with Rodney Wing, got Jackson Motor Speedway, Hattiesburg, all that core of Mississippi racetracks that, some people will say that the great engines save racing at a lot of those racetracks.
Yep.
And we move into Georgia. We have a touring series where we travel throughout the country, the southeast part of the country. Our car counts are right in line with the big two super late model car counts. So a lot of people really enjoy seeing a lot of cars in the pits, draws fans. You got a lot of drivers that, have their own fan bases that, in our region, that we go in there and the fans enjoy the show. And with everybody being pretty equal, the racing's really good as well.
Yeah, that's right. And that's a big deal. I do want to ask you, because I always talk about it here on Dirty Air, and thank you for taking the time to be on with me this evening live. Put that racetrack owner hat on. I know a series director and all that. I mean, that's one thing, but put that on. I always talk about the plight of the promoter and the damn track owner. Shit, people need to kind of lighten up right there, because you guys are the backbone of this. You don't have to do this. I mean, you're doing this for the racers.
We're very fortunate that we get to do this, and if we can pay the bills, we're very happy.
That's it.
I have to wear many hats with being a race promoter, a series promoter, racetrack promoter, all the different things. So I tell everyone, as a series promoter, I look at the racetrack promoter, and if the racetrack isn't there, we're not going to be able to race in the Walmart parking lot very long before the police show up. So
that's right.
We have to take care of our racetrack promoters to make sure they stay viable and are able to stay open. And they risk a lot of money, and a lot of times it's not a lot of gain. I wear the promoter hat. We have a go-kart track we run on Friday night to foster people into our stock car program on Saturday night. And there's a lot of weekends we go over there and we work just to say we done it. But it's the love of it, and it's those little things that make all of those weekends add up at the end of the year. And as long as we're able to keep improving and keep the facility up, then it's worth doing. And it's there again, it's love of the sport. We love what we do. I come from there. I was a fan. I didn't know anybody in racing, didn't come from racing. I bought a ticket. Worked in the concession stand and run the scales of the go-kart track for $35 a night. That was my first job.
Wow.
So to be able to own that place 20 years later is really it's the American dream. I tell everybody of the story. So, but it's a love affair. It's a love-hate relationship sometimes. But you got to love it, or you wouldn't do it at all.
Labor of love, indeed, my friend. It is one of those things. I've quit this sport so many damn different times, and it's like you keep coming back to it. So, Adam, let's talk about the new partnership right there. I think what I really like about this, I mean, obviously, with Rogers Dabbs, with the new partnership there is obviously there's a point fund there. But the good thing is, with the races that are going to be intact, I mean, I like the pay down. I know in Texas we struggle with late models. I mean, it's a hell of a thing right there, to where it may be, $2,000 to win and $500 for second. I mean, that kind of sucks. But Crate Racing USA, it's a good pay down, and at the same time, you've got a really good point fund that's in place as well for folks that are going to be on the tour.
Yes, sir. We're very fortunate and blessed with, our partners, Chevrolet Performance, and then Rogers Dabbs Performance coming on board in 2024 and forward. It's something that the racers are able to go run for decent money.
Yep.
And with that decent purse and money, they're able to accumulate points. And we have both the touring division and our weekly series, where if a guy can't go on the road, say he owns his own business and he can't get off on Saturdays, he can still go to his local racetrack. And we're fixing to announce an increase in that weekly point fund as well. And, it's to give back to those racers who support what we do, who bought into the program. And we see a lot of Dolly Parton purses, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
Top heavy,
so yes, very top heavy. So we try not to do that. It's everyone needs one guy wins, and everybody else has got to be able to get to the next race. So that guy needs to be rewarded for his win, but we also need to take care of the guys and girls that need that fuel and tire and entry fee money to move to the next race.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Adam, is there a chance with Crate Racing USA? I mean, like I talk about, kind of the struggles here in Texas with different things right there. Is there a chance for expansion right there? I mean, obviously you guys are doing a great job along the southeast over there, but I mean, is this something that could maybe broaden itself out and maybe kind of enhance itself, for some other territories?
Absolutely. We there are several programs in place. We have different divisions. We have a street stock division, a modified sportsman, a 602 late model, and the 604 late model division. And in the past, we had done some racing. We had a few racetracks in Texas, and unfortunately, most of those have been shuttered, and it sort of withdrew us from there a little bit. But we definitely would love to see, our reach go back into Texas and help with the late model class and super late model racing and I'm a fan. I'm a super late model racing fan. We run some big super late model races at our racetrack. I attend a lot of them, but for it to make sense for most racers, this is our thing, and it's just as good a racing and sometimes better. Some people are going to boo bird me about that, but it's great racing. It's competitive. And it's saved late model racing at many of these racetracks where it had went away.
Yeah, no doubt. So obviously, as we start diving in, like I was talking about right before you came on, no rest for the weary. I mean, you guys got the hangover coming up at 411. I mean, you got the Winter Series. I mean, it's go time once again, right? I mean, obviously you've got the racetrack there that you're working on, but man, it's go time. It's time to get back after 2024, isn't it?
Everybody talks about our off season, and I talk about our off weeks.
Yeah,
we have about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You're building schedules. You're doing rules. You're taking care of your sponsors and new partners, and and you're doing all of that. And you got to take a day or two off to keep everyone in the family happy for Christmas, and then you race New Year's, and it starts the month of January where you're essentially gone every weekend between. The Ice Bowl, after hangover is the Ice Bowl, then our banquet and promoters meeting, then followed by Volusia and East Bay. You catch a couple weeks off, you go finish up the winter time at Southern Raceway. It's just a revolving. It never stops. You may not be working at the race shop just like on your race car, but you're working on getting your sponsors in place and ordering parts to get ready to race. So it's a intensive thing for everybody, and even in the off season.
That's right. And those dates right there that Adam's talking about on the 30th of this year is still in 2023. You've got that 411, the hangover on the 4th. Talladega Super Speedway right there with the Ice Bowl, Volusia, followed by East Bay, and then Southern Raceway. Oh, Adam, man, this has been a great conversation. I'm looking forward to being a part of this with you guys. I think it's going to be a great partnership. Thank you all for letting us be a part of this. And, man, let's do some really cool things. I think we can really blow this thing up and make it even better here as we continue moving forward.
That's our goal. We enter these partnerships, and in a partnership, both sides have to benefit from that.
That's right.
And we're very fortunate for them to come on board, but we also, it's easy, and a lot of racers are guilty of this. It's easy to take that little check from somebody and take the money and run, so to speak. But you got to reinvest into that partnership so you're able to continue that down the road. And I want to see us expand our footprint for Rogers Dabbs into Texas, back into the Carolinas, moving north. That's the whole purpose for making those agreements and partnerships, and I really think there's a lot of things we can do great together.
Yep, I think so as well. Thank you for the time, my friend. We will talk soon. Let's do this again. We can do it throughout 2024. And best wishes, and you guys have a great holiday. Enjoy your week off, my man. Enjoy your couple of days off.
I greatly appreciate that, and I appreciate you having us on. Anything we can do, we're excited about our going forward and anything we can do to promote, good racing, Crate Racing USA, Rogers Dabbs Performance Parts, Chevrolet Performance. We're all on board, and we appreciate you having us on.
You got it, man. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you bet. There he goes, Adam Stewart, and that is the new partnership that we talked about. It was broken there at PRI with Rogers Dabbs, diving in as the primary sponsor, as the title sponsor of Crate Racing USA. And like he's talking about right there, like Adam's talking about, I mean, this is not a brand new series that is dove in right here and is being a part of this. I mean, this is something where it is a very established series right here. And I can tell you, just looking at this, I mean, I'm very familiar with Crate Racing USA. And the whole thing is, I really think that it's a really cool thing for late model racing along the coast and along the southeast right there, to where what this really does, and I'm take the affiliation of Rogers Dabbs out of this. One of the things that you always run across, it doesn't really matter the division, doesn't really matter the series, is the affordability part. And what this really does is it hones it back. I mean, it equals the field. I mean, there's always going to be, a situation to where somebody's going to get the upper advantage somehow with whatever they may be doing. But what I like about this is the reach that is possible right here. And I do challenge, I mean, whether it be in Louisiana, whether it be in even parts of Georgia, maybe the lower parts of Georgia, especially here in Texas where I'm at, is for tracks to get on board right here. Because like Adam was talking about right there, it's not, and this is where dirt racing is so competitive, because you got IMCA, which, I mean, that is a staple, guys. I mean, when you look at the way that sanctioning and series and all that, the way that shit's put together, IMCA, man, they wrote the fucking book on that. I mean, there's no other way to do that with what they do. I mean, they are so great at what they do. Now you got USRA down here in our area, that is kind of tapped into that, and there's different. The weird thing for me is like when I went up to Mississippi. To Jackson, for the big race in July, I think it was. I went and I saw those factory stocks versus what our factory stocks are in Texas, which our factory stocks in Texas are full-blown freaking almost IMCA stock cars, so to speak. But I really think that this is a great opportunity, and for Rogers Dabbs to dive in here. And I do want to talk about Rogers Dabbs. I mean, obviously, a great part of the program right here, Rogers Dabbs, Chevrolet, GM Performance, best inventory that you're going to find in the country. I mean, whatever you're looking for, whether it's parts, whether it's those crates, the sealed 602s and 604s like Adam was talking about right there, it's going to be the best price in the country, and the inventory levels are the best as well. So if it's something that you need to get a hold of these folks. Message me directly. Hit me right there at that email address, rodney@rdc123.com. If I don't have the answer for you, which I probably don't, I will get it for you, because I promise you, it's all about affordability. It's all about making that, that really is the cool part about with the crate.